Hey there Space Cats, how are you? This week I am looking at how to register your book. Yes, it's me, your old chum Jules, doing another video on drawing and publishing. You might notice if you've watched any of my other videos that I usually say drawing, planning and publishing, because the planning bit is to do with bullet journals. Now I'm going to do 3 more bullet journal videos to the end of this year, and then I'm going to drop that bit because I want to think more about the planning of your books and how you're going to get your story out there, plus loads more drawing tutorials. I'm still going to be keeping my bullet journal up though, because frankly I don't know what I'd do without it. Now, if you've written your book and you just about have it ready for self-publishing, you need to think about registering it. And for that you will need to buy an ISBN, an International Standard Book Number, which is unique to your book. In the UK you can buy them from the Nielsen ISBN store, which I'm going to link below. In the UK the place to register it is with Nielsen Title Editor. But I think if you're outside the UK, each country or region has its own agency for registering new titles. But I expect the process that I'm going to show you today is pretty similar to what you're going to experience in other countries. So if you're outside the UK, don't think this video isn't for you, because I'm pretty sure I'll be able to give you some advice as to how to go about it. Grab a notebook and a pencil and let's get started. I'll put the link to Nielsen Title Editor in the description. The first step is to make yourself an account. So put in your username and make up a password and then log in. In one of the top menus you'll find Add Book, so click on that. Now you can add your 13-digit ISBN. You can then choose to either Easy Add Book or Detailed Add Book. The former is for quick details and for books that are in English. The latter is if you want to add more details, or if it doesn't fit into the Easy Add Book criteria, which as far as I can make out means that it's not in English. Now save and you move on to the imprint page. That means, what is the publisher called? As you can see, I have 4 to choose from. 2 are from a previous incarnation of my business and the other 2 are either for ebooks or physical books. I chose Jules Marriner Books Physical for this new book that I'm working on. When you've saved that, you're asked if there are any alternative formats or more related titles. If this is your first book, or if your book isn't related to any other books, you can skip this bit. I filled in that it has a product in the same collection because this book is the second in my Vincent series. Publication status is next. If you haven't published yet and you don't know when it will be ready, you can fill in Not Yet Published with a date far in advance. You can change this information when you know it. Otherwise, choose whatever is relevant from the list and then save and next. The title section is really important. You can add the leading article of the title if your title starts with the or an, for an example. Then the title. I've put Vincent and the Mermaid, and the subtitle if there is one. This can be something like an action adventure or a book about pets or whatever is relevant. You can do this if you put your book onto Kindle or Amazon Print on Demand. It's useful because it helps to categorise your book, but you must then have those words somewhere on your book cover. But it doesn't have to dominate though. This is really helpful if someone is searching for a book about pets and you have that in your subtitle, then they are more likely to come across your book than if the title is, for example, just character names. I'm going to give my subtitle a bit more thought before I commit to it. The year of statement is more if your book is relevant to one particular year, like if it's an annual. And the multi-part work bit is if your book is part of a bigger project with other books and publications. Edition and language. Is this title the first of a standard edition? Well, for me that's a yes, but if you click on the little blue circle, it will clarify any of these points. You can fill in the language also here. Add contributors. That means you, the author, but you can also add illustrators, photographers, designers, publishers, whatever you feel is necessary here. Although keep it simple, you don't need to thank Auntie Madge for her marmalade that helped you through the process. One thing I found out here, you either add your first name and surname or the full name if complex, not both. It doesn't like it if you fill it all in, and it will flash red at you, which can be very unnerving to someone with a sensitive disposition. When you've saved and gone on to the next page, you will see that it asks if it's a single item or a multi-part. It's likely that it's a single item unless you know differently. Here you can enter information on the format, packaging and other details. These items though are optional. Now we are on to the physical aspects of your book, including the dimensions and spine width and number of pages, so fill those in if you know them, but again it's optional. Then you can add a short description. If you've already written your blurb, you can just copy and paste that. If you haven't written anything yet, then you can leave this blank and just come back to it. But don't forget. Next, in the subject and audience section, it's the important publisher supplied BIC codes, sometimes known as BISAC. These acronyms stand for Book Industry Communications and Book Industry Standards and Communications respectively. Both are category classification codes used in publishing to identify the genre of the book being published and form part of the book's metadata. There are useful links that take you to the right place so you can choose your code. Just choose whatever is nearest and don't fret too much if it isn't exactly right. Near enough is better than not at all. Now the publishing rights. If you're self-publishing and are the owner of the copyright, then that makes life simple. If you want to publish worldwide, then choose that option. If you only want to publish in one country or want to exclude some, then you can opt in or out below the worldwide publishing box. Don't think you can get away with using photos or illustrations that you've Googled though, because you might find out that you are going to be prosecuted. Ugh. I'll hop over sales restrictions because I don't think that really applies, but have a look and see if it does to what you're doing. Price and availability. If your book is available now, then choose available. Otherwise, look at the drop-down menu and choose the one that's relevant for you. I clicked on not yet available as my book is nowhere near finished. And you can add a date here too. As for the price, well, you can fill this in or leave it blank and come back to it. Most of this information can be updated later on. There, that's all the difficult stuff. Now you can review what you've done. After that, you can save it or send it straight off to Nielsen. If this is the first time you've done it, then it might be just as well to save it and have a look at the information again tomorrow. However, if you do send it to Nielsen, you can then upload a cover image. This is really important because it will be linked to your information wherever it appears. It tells you to use a JPEG 24-bit RGB colour or PNG 24-bit RGB colour and make it the minimum image size of 648 pixels tall. When you save the file type, you can use your ISBN number as the name of the file and then .jpeg or .png. For example, 2326456874532.jpg. If you'd like further artist tutorials, I have a variety of short courses that will help you. There are real-time sessions looking at painting, drawing and marker pens, among others. And if you're keen on producing your own book, there is a more in-depth course on what you need to know about self-publishing a book with illustrations. And that covers making key decisions, how to make layouts and dummy books, rhythm and pacing, as well as several tutorials on illustrating your book, and a look at the tech. You can either hop over to my website or join me on Patreon for more information. Go on, give it a go! There you have it, a step-by-step guide to registering your book with Nielsen, at least as it stands in late 2020. Of course, things do change, so if you find something radically different, then please do leave me a message in the comments below or email me to let me know and I'll update my video. Having said that, my very first book, which came out in 2012, when I registered it with Nielsen back then, it was very, very similar to how I did the video today. So hopefully things won't change too much. Check out my Make a Picture Book course, the link is in the description. It has loads of information that you're going to find helpful if you're self-publishing your book and you haven't done this before, or if you've written a text and you're not really sure what to do with it next. Next week is my October plan with me, so dust off your bullet journal and sharpen your pencils. I'm off to complete my degree in buffoonery. I'll see you next time. Nano nano!